You might think you're really confident, but actually have very little self-worth. The way to notice this is that your confidence is not a constant state of being. Some moments you feel really confident, and other moments you don't. And this has to do with the fact that confidence comes from the ego. It is literally a trick your ego plays in your brain in order to feel better about itself. But it always does this by feeling superior or better than another person. Now then, when you encounter someone that is better than you in something, or you get judged by something, that confidence is completely shattered again. So this confidence is not a constant state of being, whilst self-worth coming from a place of truly accepting who you are would be a constant state of being. Do you alternate between feeling really good about yourself and then at other times feeling social anxiety? Is it the environment that determines whether you feel confident? Is it the day that determines whether you feel confident? This probably is because you actually have very little self-worth. Are you also a person that is very sensitive to criticism, or sensitive when you get ignored, maybe in real life, maybe on WhatsApp? Maybe you start to wonder, oh, have I done something wrong? It is because you don't truly believe in your essence. There's a part of you that doesn't believe that your presence is being welcomed or accepted by other people. Why else would you worry about it? And are there moments where you feel really socially anxious, maybe new moments in new environments with new people? Do you struggle to be yourself? The confidence is something that is completely built by the ego. The ego is the mind, the personality that is occupying your brain, your conscious brain, whilst your soul is your higher being, your connection to source. Now, time and time again on this spiritual journey, I realized how important true self-worth is. And for the longest, I thought what it meant to have self-worth is building your confidence. What I now realize is that confidence is just a trick of the ego in order to feel better about itself, especially feel better than others, feeling better looking, feeling smarter, feeling stronger, feeling something better than someone else. And if you're someone that's really susceptible to compliments, you can realize, well, this is building that confidence, and we shouldn't try to aim for confidence. I've realized, because this confidence is completely a function of the external environment, which means that when the external environment changes, your confidence also suddenly changes. Now, this is the way your ego or your brain likes to trick you into feeling confident. It is telling you things to build yourself up in comparison to others specifically. Like, ooh, you're smarter than that person. Ooh, you look better than that person. Ooh, whatever it is. It always tries to make comparisons with other people, and that is how it builds this fake self-confidence, this fake confidence, which is completely mutable. Now, I was a person with a lot of confidence, but actually very little self-worth, I realized. And the way your self-worth comes back is the way you speak to yourself in your head. Like, you can have a lot of confidence, which is what I had, which was just me building my ego and in ways telling myself I'm better than other people in some ways, feeling smarter than other people, feeling whatever. Whilst at the same time, I was horrible to myself in my head. And if you really become aware of it, it's in the smallest things. It's like, oh, you haven't done this, you're so dumb. Oh, you should work harder. Always putting this pressure on myself to do work, and only then I would feel good about myself. So how do you think you're confident when at the same time you're butchering yourself in your head? And you really have to become hyper aware of this self-talk. It can be so micro, like, what is the tone of voice constantly in your head towards yourself? That is true self-worth. Like, oh, you forgot to turn off the AC, you're so dumb. I've noticed myself say this the other day. And then I realized, like, how am I expected to love myself? This is the way I communicate to myself. And we really have to become aware of this, because I am only just now, like, these comments would have passed by to my subconscious brain and I would have not even noticed. Now I'm becoming aware of it, and it's like, this is the problem. This is the problem, the way you speak to yourself. Or maybe there's a work task that you need to do and you could putting pressure on yourself. Or Maybe you find yourself going over conversations that you've had with people or WhatsApp conversations that you've had with people and criticize the things that you've said, or in your head maybe create a narrative where you've acted weird or they don't like you. This is where the true self-worth lies. Another way your ego loves to build is confidence. And I've done a practice with myself the other day, and I want to invite you guys to do the same, because I thought I was a very non-judgmental, kind person to others. And then I sat down in a cafe and I didn't know anyone. I was just there by myself. And I just made it a practice of looking around at people. And I noticed my brain on default, not even, I was disgusted myself as well, but on default, picking up things about people, about the way they look. Oh, that person has this. Oh, that person has that. Oh, that girl, she looks really lonely. It's like, I'm just projecting. It's just maybe because I'm afraid that I look lonely when I'm alone, right? And you see this couple, oh, they probably have a lot of arguments. Oh, they probably have this. And you really have to become hyper aware of the comments that your brain makes about people. And this is another way your ego does this to build confidence. It is constantly in a game of bringing other people down, building yourself up, feeling superior to others, whilst at the same time, you're also butchering yourself in your head and being extremely critical. Now, these three things are the things that build this so-called confidence, which is completely mutable. Another way poor self-worth can come back is in the people that you're dating. Are these people that are manipulating you or controlling you or being very hot and cold with you? It's another reflection of poor self-worth, because why do you resonate with that? Why is there a frequency in a part of you that likes to be in that insecure, vulnerable position? It's not the other person that is the problem ever. It's the part of you that wants to be treated that way. Not wants, because then it seems like you consciously desire this. But there's a part of you that feels only worthy of that type of treatment. It's like how much love you're able to receive from others is how much you love yourself. And this is another big realization, is that even maybe when you have people around you in your life that could love you a lot, you are only able to receive the love in the capacity of how much you're able to love yourself. And opening the heart and receiving more love in your life truly, truly comes back to cultivating more of this self-worth and this self-love. Now, as I realize all of these things, right? So confidence is fake. It is just a projection of the ego. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. It's completely based off either feeling superior to others, putting other people down, and at the same time being horrible to yourself in your head. Let's explore this other thing. What is it then to have true self-worth? What is it then to truly love yourself? And I'm still in the process of figuring that out completely. But the first step definitely is really becoming aware of the narrative that you have going on in your brain. You know, that micro self-talk that we were talking about. In the small little moments, oh, you haven't done this, you're so dumb. No. We don't speak to ourselves like that. We respect ourselves, so change it. And you're like, oh, you haven't done that, that's okay. You know, so really becoming aware of the narrative. Okay, so you have to do some work today. Oh, you haven't done enough, you should do more, blah, blah, blah. No. If you feel like it, maybe not if you feel like it, because you have to do it, but make it a nice experience. Like, okay, you can do 1 or 2 hours of work today, and then after that, I'm gonna reward you, and etc., etc. It is really about consciously becoming aware of how you speak to yourself. Then secondly, I think it is important to become aware when you are building your confidence again. When you walk around and you notice yourself doing things again where you're either making yourself feel superior, oh, I look so good today. Even when you, as a girl, maybe put on makeup, but as in general, make yourself look nice. Why are you doing it? Be honest. It is to build your confidence, not your self-worth, your confidence. It is in some ways to feel better about yourself with respect to others. Like, oh, I look better then, right? It has nothing to do with self-worth. Self-worth comes from within. Everything, and this is another thing that is important, try to find all of the things in the external that you use in order to build your confidence, whether it is, makeup and the way you look, whether it is your degree or how smart you are, whether it is whatever it is. What are things in your external environment that you're currently using to make yourself feel more confident, but actually hiding the fact, and the fact that you're suffering from very poor self-worth? Start to notice the things in your external environment. Maybe it is compliments from other people, maybe it is the work you do, maybe it is some type of validation that you get from the other sex or from other people or wherever it is. What are you currently using in your external environment to build your confidence? And strip those things away. Strip them completely away if you really want to work on your self-worth. And it's like, okay, what do I have left? And this is another thing I've noticed. It's like I noticed my negative micro self-talk, and it's like I corrected myself, like, Davy, you need to be nicer to yourself. How can you expect to be nicer to yourself if you then reprimand yourself to be nicer to yourself? Do you see how this is a constant loop that we're in, that we have to become really aware of? So this self-talk is really important. Now, of course, there are other sort of physical things that we can do with our body or our health and the way we treat ourselves in order to show our self-worth. Like, I respect this body that I incarnated in, right? So I'm going to fuel it with the right foods, not for aims of aesthetics, not as another form of self-hate to restrict myself and I need to look better, because this is again about others. This is about the internal process and about doing it to nurture and love yourself. But at the same time, we can also then get swept away in all of these external things like self-care routines and creams and getting our nails done and thinking that is how we're loving ourselves. But actually, again, it is just building to our confidence. It is making us feel better about ourselves with respect to others. It has nothing to do with this true inner self-worth. And this inner self-worth is, do I like the person that I am? Do I feel like I add value to a group or to the world? Am I allowed to be here? Do I really truly believe in my essence and value? Because if you really do, then no one else's opinion about you can ever affect you because you know who you are. But if this is still the case, and for most people this is still the case, and then it's completely fine. If this is still the case, then we really need to go back, journal, maybe do the inner work and understand, okay, what am I doing right now that is just superficially building my confidence with respect to others? The most important thing is being honest with yourself, being honest in your head when you're just trying to build your confidence again, being honest to yourself when you get a compliment from someone and it completely lifts you up again. Be honest that is then just your ego, your confidence, that superficial boost of ego that is going to fade again. It is really about doing the true self-reflection in an honest manner. Like, is this actually my self-worth, or is this just the confidence that is covering it up, that I'm actually suffering from little self-worth? And let's strip these things away and see what is really left. Offering a lot of acceptance to the way you are. It is fine. It is fine if you're a little bit anxious. It is fine if you're a little bit this. It is fine if you suffer a little bit of social anxiety. Like, full acceptance. Acceptance for the way you are. That is the way to reverse the criticism that you always have. Oh, you should have been more fun. You should have been this. You should have worked harder. You should have done this. Your self-worth is always a criticism of the way you are. So how can we reverse that? By just accepting. By just accepting the way you are. And you will still evolve. So you don't have to be perfect now. that is the start of working on the self-worth. And I'll continue speaking about this because this is truly the core of how you feel. How you feel about yourself and the self-worth that you carry is exactly the frequency that you radiate into the world. It is the love that you have for yourself, is the love that you're able to accept from others. It is the love that you feel for the world around you. And on a higher spiritual level, also realize that we are all connected, right? We're not individuals. So if we judge another person, we're actually judging ourselves. And also understanding that we're all connected makes us a little bit less focused on ourselves as well. It's like we're just an archetype here, living a temporary incarnation. Makes things a little bit less important, especially when we are so deeply spiraling in our insecurities. That is what I want to leave it with this week. I rambled a lot. I hope anything in this video was useful. Also know that I still have very transformative 5-week identity shifting courses for people that really want to change their life in just a period of 5 weeks, because this is the scientifically proven time I need to help you reprogram your subconscious mind and also make you implement new habits. So through daily journaling, daily guided practices, weekly coaching videos, this transformative program will help you step into the highest version of you. Link is in the description if you want to find out more about that. And thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate you, and I would love to see you in my next video. Sending you my love.